We are back at the Black Bear Film Festival, and they say they saved the best for last. Well, wait till I tell you about the next film that we're going to see. I have the director, producer, Lisa Hurwitz here, and her film is about a subject that is near and dear to me. It's called The Automat. The Automat! What made you make a film about the Automat?
I loved eating in my college cafeteria.
Ah! Oh, that's so funny.
I'm from the West Coast. I had never heard of the Automat or Horn and Hard Art.
Oh my God. I can't believe, first of all, that I'm talking to someone that never heard of Horn and Hard Art, right? I grew up with all that stuff.
Yeah, wow. But in my school library, I was researching cafeterias. I wanted to know more about them, and I came across the Automat. And it turned into this journey that
I love this.
was a many-year process of learning, of meeting the key players in the story of the company who were still alive.
Oh, that's amazing. They're still alive.
And then, finding celebrities who were willing to share their memories and even write a song for the film.
This is such a great subject because there's a whole bunch of us. I actually grew up with the Automat. I can't remember the sandwich I used to get. I was a little kid. My mother would bring me there. And, you got to the little windows came up and you could pick what you wanted. Was it like date nut bread and cream cheese? It might have been. I can't remember. But what is intriguing to you about the concept of an Automat?
Well, there's what was intriguing to me at the beginning and what has...
In the process of making the film.
Everything that I've learned. In the beginning, I think it was the glamour of it.
The glamour of the Automat. Okay.
Well, because I was reading about all these other cafeteria chains, but the Automat was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a palace, and celebrities would go there, and people would do photo shoots there, and people would dream about their trip to New York City and visiting the Automat.
Yes.
It was up there with the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building. And then over time, I'd say what really drew me to it was the emotional attachment that people have for it, which is very interesting because typically people aren't so nostalgic for a restaurant.
No, that's absolutely, unless they got engaged there or it was a very personal thing. But this is interesting that in your interviews of people, you found an emotional connection. What kinds of stories did people tell you?
I'd say the most typical story I hear is that someone's parent or grandparent or uncle or aunt would take them there. So it's usually a memory of going with somebody who's no longer alive.
Right.
That's
And it really appeals to the whole nostalgia kind of thing in all of us. Do you think like the Automat for many people in a time of turmoil is a comforting thought?
People say that right now the film is especially relevant coming out of COVID. And when the film premiered, which was at the 2021 Telluride Film Festival, this was right when film festivals were resuming.
Just getting back, right? And they had been online, as you know, for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people say that. I sort of feel like the story would resonate even if it wasn't a time of turmoil because they're just such precious memories.
Yeah.
And I think for somebody like yourself, this film is going to be like comfort food for you.
Yeah, no, I love that she used the phraseology comfort food.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. Now, I have a question actually from a friend who I told I was going to be interviewing you. He wanted to know, you made a correlation between Starbucks and the Automat.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So one of the things that I learned along the way was that Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks, that he included a dedication to the Automat in one of his memoirs.
Oh my gosh.
And so when I learned about this, I immediately decided I need to talk to him because if this was true, it means that a large modern day business was influenced by the Automat. And as a, I'm not a trained historian, but I've become like one.
You know what? You have a niche of history right now that nobody else knows about. So you're an expert on the Automat.
So for me, it was very appealing to be able to speak to a modern day restaurateur and to hear what he has to say about what the Automat meant to his business. So some people have a little bit of a problem with the fact that he's in the movie, but I don't understand it because I think it's so important that the founder of Starbucks,
I love this, right,
is saying that going to the Automat was an influential experience for his development as a restaurateur, and that he every day threads the work that he's doing at Starbucks through his experience going to the Automat.
And that's actually conceptually, Lisa, it's huge. And that's something that nobody else knows. And I love that you put it in your film, because I've often thought Starbucks, all of a sudden it was there and it was everywhere. Well, what came before Starbucks, And now you're saying the ideas came from the Automat, which is, it keeps the idea of the Automat alive.
There are certain elements of Starbucks that I feel are very Automat-esque. The ability to sit in a nice environment and to use your laptop, have free Wi-Fi.
It's great, right.
And then, of course, I think the displays are very Automat-esque. The way that they present the food in a very an appealing way. I think all the merchandise. The
way they have it merch. Yeah, so you're talking about their marketing and branding is similar for you to the Automat.
Howard Schultz talks in the film about the wonder of the Automat, going in there as a little kid and to look inside the little glass windows. I do think even as an adult that the tiers that they have in the Starbucks, the little cake pops.
Oh yeah, those kinds of things, yeah.
And of course it's not the same at all, but I really do.
There's a connection.
I do see it, and I believe Howard completely. I think that the way that they innovate their app so that it's kind of like a game for adults to, order their food ahead of time and to earn points.
And then just, go there and get it.
He's found a way to, keep it kind of fun, which was part of the whole appeal of the Automat and why the children liked it so much. Yeah. And now, I'm not saying it's a good thing that all adults are walking around with their, sippy cups, but, the Automat was really, it was for everyone, but the people that kind of, made probably the most impression upon were the children.
Yeah,
these are the people I'm talking to
of course.
Now, at least.
Yeah, and their children, though. I love the correlation between the Automat and Starbucks, because Starbucks is something that we have now, and it's really become the identifier for the children growing up now. You said it. You go in, and the way the food and everything is displayed. The thing that differs for me from the Automat and Starbucks, I find this so annoying at Starbucks. People go in, they get one darn small coffee, and they sit there with their laptop for 2 hours.
Yeah.
They didn't do that in the Automat. Because of course we didn't have laptops, and you would go in, you pick your food out, that was exciting. Seeing it encased in glass. Oh my gosh, what am I going to try? And you would find it, and then you would sit. And I remember sitting with my mother. That was like a treat. She would pick me up from school, and then we would go there. So. Again, the generation that's around now, the Starbucks now is their Automat. That's what it is. We're in a different time. How long did it take you to make this film?
It took about 7 years.
Oh my gosh, 7 years. This is what amazes me, the amount of research and time that people will put into a project, a film that they want to make.
Not 7 years straight, because I was working and this was a passion project of mine, but evenings and weekends were filled, and I would take vacation from work and use it to work on.
Good for
film.
you.
Yeah.
What do you do at your work job? I'm trying to see if there's a connection to the Automat.
I have had work jobs with connections, absolutely. Food and restaurant public relations.
You okay?
I've done that.
Right.
I've worked with food brands and restaurants.
So food brands and restaurants
Yeah.
are of interest to you.
They are. I mean, I love.
You're so slim.
Foodie.
I knew she was going to say she was a foodie, and she's like a size 0.
You're hysterical. Definitely not a size 0.
Well, right, and you're totally into food.
You're catching me though. I'm
You're on your light side now.
I'm on my life. I just got back from Europe, and I don't know if this ever happens to you, but you eat better and
The food's better.
You walk a lot.
You walk a lot. There's no sulfites. The sulfites here in the wine, just like my hands swell, everything. My body aches. The sulfites do not exist in Europe. The wine is pure. The food is pure. There's no additives. It's all amazing. Well, this is very exciting to have you here. Is this the first time you've been at this festival?
As far as I know, it's also the first time the film has ever played in Milford.
Yes. Well, yeah, a lot of people have their first in Milford, and that's one thing we can say. We are very innovative here. We choose really wonderful films. They're interesting films. I love that you took a subject like the Automat that is near and dear to so many people, and you made a film about it. Because there are people that are going to walk out of that theater tonight finding a lot of things that they didn't know about the Automat, and I could be one of them. Lisa, thank you. You're delightful to interview. I want to just ask you, what's your next project on the horizon?
It's actually a romantic comedy.
Oh, she's so cute. We're going from food to romantic comedies. That's your
Well, that's a whole nother topic, but I actually self-distributed the Automat.
right.
And so now that in addition to having this experience as the filmmaker, I've learned what it takes to distribute a film.
It's hard.
It's hard. But it's also wonderful, and I'm so glad that I did it instead of giving the film to somebody else to do it.
Yes.
It worked out better, but I also sort of have learned a lot about what the reality is of the motion picture business right now for documentary films.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to distribution. And that, my dear, is a whole other interview.
Yeah.
I've done that. I did that with a distributor last year, and it's very eye-opening.
Yeah.
It can be daunting experience for a
Yeah.
filmmaker.
I am really interested to see what is possible for me by crossing over into more commercial filmmaking. I think that it could suit me really nicely.
Lisa, I think anything you do is going to suit you really nicely. You have such a good, open attitude. Thank you for telling your story. And I really wish you the best of luck with your film at the festival. Excited to have you here. And all these beautiful bears behind me, you can bid on these.
What are you gonna bid?
Well, you know what? I have 5 in I have 5 in my house out here. Yeah,
You have 5 of us?
Mhm.
Wow,
I've been coming
you're
to
like
this.
a super fan.
I am a super bear fan. There's no more room at the inn for the bears, so should we say the den?
In the inn. Now I want to interview you.
Now you want to interview me? I love you. You're the best. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks for the chance to be on your show.